Music journalist Alan Cross joins me now. Alan, appreciate you coming onto the program. Wish it was on better circumstances, but talk to us about Little Richard, your reaction to his passing.
Well, if there was a holy trinity of rock and roll, it is Elvis, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard. He never did have a hit beyond 1958, but it didn't matter because everything that he needed to do, he did in a period of about 2 years, from 1955 to 1957, where he basically laid a lot of the foundations for what would become rock and roll in the decades to come.
He certainly did, and really was quite humble with his success. I want to read something to you, Alan. This is a letter back in 1956 that he addressed to the industry's DJs, dealers, and distributors. And he basically says in this, I have knocked around some trying different jobs, but the dream that kept buzzing in my head was to make a living as a singer. And then he goes on to realizing, you know, the success that he was having with Tutti Frutti. So then it happened. I invested $2 in a test recording and sent it to a record company in Hollywood. The next thing I knew, I was recording for that company my original song, Tutti Frutti. And of course, things then moved on, and he was awarded the Billboard Triple Crown Award. Simply amazing.
He was, yes, very humble about his contributions. He referred to himself as the innovator, the creator, the architect of rock and roll. And he fought with Jimi Hendrix over, you know, who looked better, or, you know, did Jimi Hendrix rip off his look and his thing. He felt that he somehow didn't get the same sort of credit that Chuck Berry and Elvis Presley got, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. He was remarkably influential. I mean, if there's no Little Richard, there's no Prince. If there's no Little Richard, there's no Beatles, no Stones, no Eric Clapton, no anything like that.
How much do you think his music is still influencing the industry? Noticing that some musicians might be coming back a little bit to the old school.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily directly, but I mean the influence can be felt through multiple generations. One of the things that Little Richard did was change the way rock and roll looked. He was very flamboyant. He had the pompadour haircuts. He had the sexual innuendo in some of the songs that he released. He had the wild stage presence, and that sort of thing is. Nobody was doing that really in the Little Richard way back in 1955, but that's what they're doing now.
That's certainly what they're doing now. And just a big loss to the entertainment community. But I have to say, the songs that he wrote, I think every generation can certainly tap their feet to.
Yeah, I think, you know, he only wrote a certain string of hits. But that's all he needed to do.
It certainly was. Well, he will be fondly remembered. Music journalist Alan Cross. Appreciate you coming on board and chatting with us about this, Alan. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.